Do you want to add some flesh?
The newspapers of yesterday, the Punch, banks battled with new Naira shortage ahead deadline. Mr. Speaker, look at the Punch of today. In Katsina traders reject old notes. And it was a fact. The reporters went round into the market. The marketers, local traders are rejecting this note. It's written in the Punch of today.
Who rejected?
The traders. Page 21 of Punch today. Mr. Speaker, also the Daily Sun of today on page 25. Banks customers lament limited access to new Naira notes in Kebbi State. Mr. Speaker, look at the Daily Trust of today, 24th January 2023, the front page. Nigerians fear massive losses as deadline draws near. Business owners give January deadline. Food prices soar as traders reject old notes. Family reject old notes as bride price. Even where bride price is being paid, the families reject the old notes. Mr. Speaker, I'm not being personal. The CBN is a good policy. It's in tandem with global best practices. But world over, the currencies are not forced out of circulation. They are phased out of circulation. In this instance, in my own view, our currencies is being forced out circulation. And it is a known fact. The cashless policy and the currency swap for the new Naira notes have raised a lot of concerns to the growth of our economy. Mr. Speaker, there is need. The bulk Nigerian economy is driven by SME and petty traders. Therefore, there is need for some review of the policy. Sensitization is required, and this sensitization does not only involve CBN. Government should be involved. The clergy should be involved. The non-bank promoters should also be involved. So CBN should not take it as if it is their responsibility to sensitize the public. They will not reach somewhere. I don't see how CBN can reach Shimpedah. Shimpedah is one of my wards. There are over 8,000 people that they are encircled by bandits, and they have to leave. There is no service there. There is no POS machines there, and yet the people are living. Mr. Speaker, we went to Binangwari with you. The greater part of Borno State is suffering from this. The greater part of Yobe State is suffering from this, and a greater part of the Northwest. So I think there is the CBN needs to be circumspect. The CBN needs to slow down this policy so that the policy can be inclusive. If they continue with this, it will be exclusive. It will exclude certain segment of this society in participating in the macro activities of this country. I'm coming on Order 8, Rule 4, on the need for the Central Bank of Nigeria to review the cashless policy and extend the time frame of the currency swap. The House notes that, pursuant to Section 2, Paragraph A and D of the Central Bank Establishment Act 2007, the object of the Central Bank of Nigeria shall be to ensure monetary and price stability and promote a sound financial system in Nigeria, respectively. Also notes that banks are places where people keep their money for safety and expect to withdraw it when needed. Recalls that in December 2022, this very House invited the CBN governor to discuss the cashless policy and introduction of the redesigned 200 Naira, 500 Naira, and 1,000 Naira notes. Aware that cashless policy is in tandem with global best practices. Also aware that for such a policy to be successful, it should not be overbearing on the people and the economy. concerned that the financial institutions in Nigeria lack the infrastructure to handle a sudden increase in customer base as well as adequate employees to handle any challenges that could arise in the process of implementing the cashless policy within the limited time given by the CBN. Also concerned that banks and POS outlets are struggling with shortage of the redesigned new notes ahead of the CBN deadline of January 31st, 2023, consequently making it difficult for them to comply with CBN directives as regards availability of the new notes for customers. Further concerned that despite several concerns and appeals by the National Assembly, the Governors Forum, the Banker Customers Association of Nigeria, and a host of other stakeholders in the country, for the CBN to extend the period for the currency swap of the new Naira notes, as well as a review of the cashless policy, the CBN has remained adamant on the given deadline. Worried that due to inadequate sensitization and the rush in the implementation of the policy, the country is exposed to a situation whereby businesses are rejecting the old currencies. Today's newspapers are awash with the reportage of all these cases around the country. If you look at also worried that as a result of the rigidity in the implementation of the policy, there is a tendency of the decline in the economy if cash withdrawals are delayed due to shortage supply of the new notes. Cognizant that in order for the policy to be successful and acceptable, the CBN should keep their relationship closer to reality rather than theorize assumptions. Also cognizant that in global best practices, currencies are phased out, not forced out. Thus, adequate time is required for such policy to be successful. Further cognizant that the policy, though a good one, is not fair on the incoming government, which will require a smooth transition, which will help to promote sound financial system in the country. Disturbed that coercing the people to accept the new CBN policy within such a time frame will pose serious monetary challenges and impact negatively on the microeconomic activities across the country. Resolves that the House do urge the Central Bank of Nigeria to extend the implementation of the cashless policy to at least 1 year, as well as review the daily withdrawal limit and the charges therefrom. Also urge the CBN to expedite action on making the redesigned 200 Naira, 500 Naira, and 1,000 Naira notes available to Nigerians. Also call on Mr. President to intervene in the insistence of the CBN on the tight deadline for the implementation of cash policy and the currency swap. I so move, Mr. Speaker.
Ahmed Jahababao is my name. I represent Chibok, Dambua, and Goza Federal Constituency. I am from Borno State. Mr. Speaker, I just came back from my constituency yesterday, and I want to use this opportunity to commend CBN for taking certain steps to address this issue in my constituency in particular. As I'm talking to you, CBN staff are in my constituency since yesterday. They went there with some
on the need for the central bank governor to review the cashless policy and extend the time frame for the currency swap. I so move, Mr. Speaker.
I believe, or is it different in any material particular?
Mr. Speaker, the language of this motion with the language of the previous motion was the same, but the principles are different because the times justifies this motion at this moment in time.
Yeah, what did you say this motion is about again?
The motion is asking the CBN to review and also to extend the time frame.
Okay.
And the previous motion did not address these issues. The previous motion was talking on the policy in general. At that time, there was no currency swap policy.
I think that other motion was also for even redesigning of the notes as opposed to strictly the cash transfers. Okay, any seconder? Honorable
Thank you, sir. Ameja Hababa is my name. I represent Chibok, Dambua, and Goza Federal Constituency. I rise to second a motion ably moved by my senior colleague, Honorable Sada Soli Jibia, representing Jibia Kaita Federal Constituency from Katsina State.